The Beard of Zeus asks, you briefly referred to and rolled your eyes at the memory of working with Jonny Fairplay. Were you not a fan then?
No, it's not that I'm not a fan, but Jonny Fairplay, he was a fan who got into the business, and he didn't really know what he was getting into, nor did he know the protocol and some even common courtesy, because you couldn't do anything with him. He wasn't a wrestler. He just he walked off the street from that show. What was the show he was on? Survivor?
Yeah.
And I think Dixie Carter liked him, or somebody liked him, and they brought him to TNA. Very difficult to be creative with him because he was so limited, and even his interviews. I think that's probably what got him over in Survivor. I never saw him on Survivor because I didn't watch the show. But needless to say, we didn't draw any money or really hardly any interest in Jonny Fairplay when he was in TNA.
Do you? I actually wrote this down for you, but do you remember how much his appearance fee was?
Well, probably over $2,000.
$2,600 per appearance. Supposedly, he was a nightmare for creative as well, you and Jeff, because he just refused to do stuff.
Well, he thought he was a star. And when you would ask him to, or tell him, and he would push back on it. Again, I'm going to go back to one of my main themes during this podcast here.
Ted DiBiase.
Don't get involved in something unless you want to be involved further. When I saw how Jonny Fairplay wanted to play ball, because I didn't bring him in. It's not my circus, not my monkeys. So I left him to the other trainers and I walked away. And I would help out if he would have been a little bit more helpful. We may have done something with him, but we had nothing to work with to begin with. Just because he's on Survivor does not mean that he fits a wrestling show. And I think Dixie was a fan of the show and brought him on.
Are you saying that people who are on Survivor, like Jenna Maraska and Jonny Fairplay, had no business being in the wrestling profession?
Why would I say that? I have no idea. But so that was our two contacts with Survivor, and both of them were duds.
Roddy Piper also apparently really hated Jonny Fairplay because at one point Jonny Fairplay was his assistant and he crashed the car. Do you remember hearing the story at the time?
I remember hearing the story.
Go on, tell me.
I do. Well, apparently, I think Jonny drove him around, and then they were going somewhere, and like you said, they had a crash. And I don't know what. That's all I heard about, but I do know that Piper did not hold Jonny Fairplay in high esteem at all.